We're going to talk about position battles, kind of in a Wally Pip Lou Gehrig sort of mode. Let's start with the San Diego Padres. Obviously, a very busy offseason for them. Additions of Upton, Myers, and Kemp. Those have kind of been the headlines, but also in that rotation, too. James Shields now helps to solidify that rotation. Andrew Castro, Tyson Rossi, and Kennedy. That's a good 1 through 4, but what about 5? There's a lot of different options. We'll start with Odorizomir Despaigne.
Well, I think there's a lot of options there, but, I mean, you talked about those first 4. This is the thing that I'm so impressed with the San Diego Padres, Dan, is that you have those 4, right? But then after the 4, we have, 4 more legitimate candidates who could fill that top spot, including my man Despain right here. I don't know why you say Despaigne all the time. I mean, it's way too much like the champagne.
Right,
so let's go to Erland. I mean, as well, you look at these guys, they're all kind of legitimate. I don't want to say legitimate. They're all fringe sort of starters. So is there one guy that sticks out amongst the rest? We could go now. Obviously, you're flipping through here.
That's the thing, is that there's even more.
Casey Kelly, a lot of expectations for this youngster. Lupke, Brandon Morrow. So for me, when I look at the Padres, and one of the reasons why they got so much better during the offseason and why that James Shields signing was so important is all of a sudden you have to put 2 of those guys in the rotation. There's going to be 2 relatively big question marks. Now you only have to put 1, and you got to believe one of those guys. If they don't work out, boom, out with him, in with the next. Dan.
And I agree. And I think having depth in that starting rotation, particularly in that National League West. Look at last year, the Dodgers had too many pitchers going into spring training a month into the season. The Dodgers were looking for some options. I think the Padres right now, well stocked.
And that's the thing, is that has a team ever had too much pitching throughout the entire season? No, it's never been the case. Cleveland Indians are another team right now. Here's what their offense looks like, and, of course, their defense, too. But rotation, same sort of deal there. Corey Kluber comes back as the Cy Young winner, then Carrasco, Bauer, Floyd. Same sort of deal here. Zach McAllister, Danny Salazar, these options for that number 5
This
star.
right here might be the best kept secret in the entire American League. Corey Kluber grabbed all the attention, wins the 2014 American League Cy Young. Carrasco has a terrific arm. Trevor Bauer, former first-round pick out of UCLA with the Arizona Diamondbacks. But this guy, to me, Danny Salazar. A little bit of a disappointing 2014 season. The thing that I liked, he finished strong. His September was very good. His velocity actually got better as the season went on. He has a chance to be a front of the rotation type of pitcher. Big arm, and I mean a big arm, 95 to 100 miles an hour. His changeup has come a long way. He has a good, hard breaking ball. If he puts everything together, this could be one of the deeper rotations. It may not have household names, but a lot of quality in that Tribe rotation.
So you got Salazar as your number 5, at least for right now. All right, San Francisco Giants, 3 World Series titles in 5 years. Somewhat active this offseason. Casey McGee over at third base to take over for Pablo Sandoval. What about left field, though? Nori Aoki, the free agent signing there. Obviously not big money, not a long-term deal, of course. But does he have enough with those numbers to be the everyday guy in left?
Well, somewhat active is being generous. I didn't think they were very active at all.
Yeah.
They did sign Aoki. They traded for Casey McGee. They brought a couple guys back in Peavy and Vogelsong, but that was about it. So the signing of Aoki, I get it. It's nice. It's fine. For me, when I look at this, man, I could go with any of the 4 of those guys. Now, Aoki's going to get the first crack, and this also depends what happens with Angel Pagan in center field, because if Angel Pagan is not healthy, then at that point you could go ahead and go with Juan Perez in center field. You go with Gregor Blanco in center field, get a little platoon switch right there. But Juan Perez, look out for him. That's the only right-handed bat. And this one of the things that's been holding him back. He's a really, really good defender. But again, here we are. He's the only right-handed bat of the 3 when they face a left-handed pitcher. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him get some time. But you have 4 guys, and of course everyone remembers the Travis Ishikawa home run in Game 5 that eliminated the Cardinals. So he's in the mix as well.
Obviously, a lot of different options here in left field for Bruce Bochy, but it's an odd year, so they're not into this thing anymore. Anyway, let's go last team here, and that would be the Houston Astros. A team that, again, continues to try to rebuild, get back in that mix in the American League West. Their bullpen, they've been active there. Neshek, Gregerson, 2 offseason signings. Gregerson's been really good, whether or not he's the closer. You got to like those numbers.
I'd say one of the things I like that the Astros did, I think one of the sore spots the last couple of years has been covering the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning. Their starting pitching is getting better, but they need some help covering those last 7 or 8 outs. And Luke Gregerson has been solid the last 4 or 5 years. Mariners, last year with the Oakland A's, before that with the San Diego Padres. Neshek was terrific with the St. Louis Cardinals last year. There is a lot of depth to this bullpen right now, and it gives really more than one option. And then I think the guy that's probably going to start the season out closing games, Chad Qualls, who has been terrific. I think one of the things with Qualls is, he's a strike-throwing machine, and I think it's going to be his job to lose unless he trips up. And he's been known to do that. Watch this, Chad. And then he gets up. Look at that move right there. I meant to do that.
Aggressively.
Hey, that's right. I am the closer. I am Chad Qualls.
We could have talked about 24 different teams.
By the way,
had to talk about Chad
Qualls. That couldn't happen to a better guy. I love Chad Qualls, but that couldn't happen to a better guy. See, Qualls likes to run his mouth a little bit, and sometimes gets a little big for his bridges. So that's a great piece of humble pie right there.
He played it off very nicely.